In the ever-bustling, architecturally rich, and culturally layered city of Chicago, Illinois, where the lakefront glimmers under winter sun and the hum of city life blends with the echoes of decades of sports triumphs, political struggles, and culinary innovations, there exists a small but legendary eatery that has transcended its simple mission of selling hot dogs and fries to become a living emblem of Chicagoan character. The Wiener Circle, located in the Lincoln Park neighborhood just off Clark Street near Wrightwood, a corner that has become a nexus of local lore, sports fandom, and culinary spectacle, where patrons, young and old, from lifelong residents to tourists seeking the authentic city experience, congregate not merely for the food, but for the singular combination of chaos and entertainment that defines the restaurant, a place infamous for its curbside abuse, a term that captures the theatrically hostile yet playful interactions between staff and customers, where hesitation, imprecision, or tardiness in placing an order invites a cascade of verbal admonitions that can be both alarming and amusing to the uninitiated. Yet paradoxically, if one enters armed with the correct knowledge, confidence, and timing, the Wiener Circle transforms into an arena of reward, where hot dogs, char-grilled to perfection, fried onions, neon orange cheese, and chili-laden delights are served with an attitude as bold and brash as the city itself, an ethos that mirrors Chicago's famed toughness and unfiltered sense of humor, and the restaurant's personality is amplified through its engagement with the city's sports culture, particularly its willingness to celebrate local victories and encourage civic participation, illustrated vividly in its recent promotions tied to professional football, such as the promise of free hot dogs to the city should Dak Prescott and the Cowboys face off, and quarterback Caleb Williams throw 4 touchdowns, a wager that, when realized, transformed a routine day into a citywide festival, complete with novel culinary offerings like the Gizzy, a whimsical hot dog that speaks to the establishment's irreverent approach to tradition, much like Chicago itself, a city that embraces history while simultaneously reinventing itself in real time. And this convergence of food, spectacle, and sports forms a backdrop to the story of the Chicago Bears' remarkable 2025 season, a campaign that began under a cloud of skepticism and tempered expectation, yet has evolved into a case study in discipline, strategic innovation, and the harnessing of latent talent. A team that endured early setbacks, including an 0-2 start in division play and a few discouraging non-conference losses, only to find its identity under the leadership of head coach Matt Eberflus, a man whose approach combines meticulous preparation, motivational rigor, and the cultivation of player autonomy, fostering a culture in which quarterback Caleb Williams thrives, deploying a combination of poise, athleticism, and cerebral understanding of defenses to execute both high-risk, high-reward plays and methodical, controlled drives, exemplified in weeks 12 and 13 against the Pittsburgh Steelers and Philadelphia Eagles, where the Bears showcased a near-perfect balance of ground and air offense, the former resulting in 281 rushing yards against the Eagles, a performance that not only dominated time of possession but physically imposed upon a traditionally stout defensive front, demonstrating a commitment to fundamentals and the creation of explosive opportunities through patient, calculated execution. And this strategic excellence has been complemented by the emergence of offensive weapons such as Cole Kmet, who has developed a rapport with Williams that transcends schematic design, allowing for improvisational brilliance, including critical fourth-quarter throws against the grain, left field passes that catch defenses off guard and energize fans, while the offensive line, a meticulously coordinated unit, executes gap schemes, pulls, and traps with precision, enabling the Bears to control the line of scrimmage in a manner that echoes the great ground attacks of Chicago's storied football past, a lineage that includes legends like Walter Payton, who embodied the combination of toughness, intelligence, and relentless determination that now seems to characterize this iteration of the team, and this performance has elevated the Bears into a tie for the NFC's top seed alongside the Los Angeles Rams, a position made possible not only by an impressive 6-2 conference record, but also by their ability to execute under pressure, maintain discipline, and capitalize on key turnovers, including game-changing interceptions and forced fumbles that swing momentum in ways that statistical models consistently show correlate with win probability in high-leverage situations, a tangible measure of how preparation, athleticism, and instinct converge. And while the team's performance on the field captivates, It is inextricably linked to the larger cultural fabric of Chicago, where the Wiener Circle, with its brash greetings, theatrical insults, and occasional citywide hot dog giveaways, serves as both literal and symbolic nourishment for a community steeped in pride, history, and the ritual of fandom, where victories are not measured solely in points or standings, but in the collective exhalation of a city that has long lived with the dualities of triumph and disappointment, resilience and frustration, history and reinvention, and as fans consume their chili dogs and relish, cheering with a mixture of relief, joy, and city-born ferocity, they participate in a communal narrative that spans generations, neighborhoods, and seasons, a narrative that is mirrored in the Bears' execution, where patience, timing, audacity, and attention to detail converge, resulting in drives that grind down opposing defenses, explosive plays that electrify stadiums and living rooms alike, and a sense of legitimacy that is both intoxicating and historically significant, reflecting a confluence of factors rarely aligned in a single season, including coaching acumen, player development, team chemistry, and community support, all of which are magnified by the media coverage, statistical analysis, and social commentary that surround each game, as fans, journalists, and analysts dissect each play, each decision, and each strategic adjustment, linking the performance of the team to broader narratives of identity, resilience, and urban pride. While the Bears' rise, like the Wiener Circle itself, exemplifies the city's embrace of boldness, the celebration of audacity, and the appreciation for moments of unfiltered, unpolished excellence, a philosophy that extends beyond the stadium or the restaurant into the rhythms of everyday life in Chicago. From the bustling streets lined with independent businesses to the public parks where local athletes hone their skills, to the neighborhoods whose names, Lincoln Park, Hyde Park, Wrigleyville, Pilsen, resonate with history, struggle, triumph, and ongoing transformation, all of which contextualizes the Bears' victories as not merely sporting achievements but as cultural events, community milestones, and embodiments of a civic identity that prizes grit, ingenuity, and persistence, illustrating that the city's relationship with football and food, with celebration and ritual, is both performative and deeply rooted, simultaneously reflecting and shaping the character of those who participate, whether through a well-timed shout of joy at a touchdown, a communal cheer at a defensive stand, or a begrudging smile at a Wiener Circle insult that carries a hidden promise of culinary satisfaction. And in this sense, the Bears' 2025 season, the performances of Williams, Komet, and the offensive line, the coaching strategies of Eberflus, and the theatrical chaos of the Wiener Circle converge into a single narrative that is as much about Chicago itself as it is about sport or food, a narrative in which history, culture, identity, and excellence intermingle, a dense, living, breathing story of preparation, risk, triumph, and community. A story in which each yard gained on the field, each insult, laden hot dog served, each cheer from a fan, each calculation by a coach, each strategy devised, and each moment of audacity contributes to a larger tapestry, weaving together decades of pride, disappointment, hope, and ambition into a cohesive, ongoing chronicle that reminds both locals and outsiders that in Chicago, whether through football, food, or the daily performance of city life, excellence, drama, resilience, and humor coexist in ways that are unique, intense, and undeniably compelling, and that the convergence of these elements, the Wiener Circle, the Chicago Bears, the neighborhoods,